Okay, hello and welcome to the very first Mindset Monday. I am super excited because I've been thinking about this for a while and I just wanted to provide some extra motivation for you. If you're watching this on the recording, that's totally okay. And I'm not trying to take up more of your time. I'm just trying to add value to your experience. So the first thing I'm going to talk about Mindset Mondays. If you saw my post yesterday, I posted a little bit about this kind of from a different perspective, but we're going to talk about the scale, because this is one of the major sticking points for people. I've been doing this for a long time now. I even struggle with the scale for a while, and I swear I've been hearing about the scale since I was a child. So I know how frustrating that can be to use the scale. The scale is a tool, right? The scale is a tool. So let's talk about that for a second. My husband's an electrician, right? So he has lots of tools. He uses lots of different tools depending on what the job is, depending on what he's working on, depending on the difficulty, depending on what it is, right? There are many different tools, and I'm not going to name tools because I don't know them that well, but it's a tool. The scale is a tool, meaning it's just one thing you can use. It may not be appropriate to use it all the time. It may not be appropriate to use it right now. It may not be appropriate to use it at certain days, certain times. For example, so now let's get into some examples. So the scale may not be the best tool to use after you ate maybe Chinese food, right? We all know that's full of salt, and we know that salt tends to make us bloat. So we've got extra water. We're hanging on for extra water, right? The scale is going to tell you a different story than maybe a different tool would. Okay. It's a tool. So think about it that way. Do you always need a wrench to fix things? Not necessarily, right? It's just one tool. So a scale is a tool, and that's my emphasis for today. The scale is a tool. Now, here's the reason I don't love the scale, and that it's just thinking about it as just a tool, because especially in kind of our subset where we're talking about women here and we're trying to build muscle so that we can burn fat, right? Muscle is super dense. So meaning that muscle takes up less space. And I've got a graphic and I'll share it after this, but I've got a graphic that literally shows, I think it's 5 pounds. It's 5 pounds of muscle, right? And it's like maybe the size of your fist, right? And then there's 5 pounds of fat here, and it's like takes up this much space. So that same thing happens in our body. So muscle takes up less space in our body than fat does. So you can weigh the same, but be smaller. You can be a smaller size and actually weigh the same or more, right? And it's such a mind trick here, and it's really just a kind of a mind fuck, like, pardon my language, but it is, because it's hard to wrap your brain around the fact that we're so focused on the scale, but that the scale could maybe never change, right? But your body could get smaller and smaller and smaller because you just might have that much muscle that takes up less space, right? So kind of my point with my post about the jeans is that I don't even use a scale because it's just too much of a mind trick for me. I don't want to have to worry about whether I'm up and down 10 pounds, because all I really care about at the end of the day is whether those clothes fit. Like, I'm okay with that. Like, and that's my personal thing is I save those jeans. I literally try them on once a year because I don't like to wear jeans. And if they fit, I'm happy. I don't care if the scale is up 4 pounds or down 4 pounds. I don't care. It doesn't matter. As long as those jeans fit, I'm super happy. Okay. Because those jeans will fit based on my shape, my muscle mass, and my body fat mass. So if I had gained body fat, it would take up more space, and I would know that I'm carrying more fat than I would probably like to, right? And that's how I know that I need to make changes, right? If they were loose, right? There's another total opposite extreme, they could have been loose, right? They could have been, maybe I just put on so much muscle that it was taking up a ton less space. Now that's another lesson, right? Maybe that's I need to eat more. Maybe that's I'm too skinny, you know, like maybe I need to tweak what I'm doing so that they do fit better, right? Because I feel like that's a comfortable size for me. So all that being said is I highly recommend using clothes as one of your main tools. There are lots and lots of tools, lots and lots of tools. Scale is one, clothes is another. I love the clothes because it's easy. So you get, I mean, we pretty much all have those clothes in our closet where you know that it's like a little tighter than you would like, and you kind of wish that it was not as tight or as snug, right? Or maybe it used to fit better and now it doesn't fit as well. That's a sad one. And that one hits home, I know, for a lot of people. So that happens, right? But then you can keep those clothes, right? And try them on at regular intervals to see how things are fitting. You know, if you want to do that once a day, once a week, once a month. I don't recommend doing it too often because I don't want us to get compulsive, but it's a great tool to use. Okay. So I also want to just make sure I touch on, you hear this a lot, that muscle weighs more than fat. And I know that's just an easy expression that's been going around for a long time. It doesn't actually weigh more. A pound of muscle is still a pound of fat. It's still a pound, right? It's just that it takes up less space as muscle, and as fat, it takes up more space. Okay. So that's your mini lesson for today. And your exercise, which you can do right now, if you want to grab your, go into your closet, or you can do it when you get home or sometime, is pick out that piece of clothing, right, that's a little on the snug side that you can use as your tool, right? And it's going to be different for everyone. Some people really, and everybody gains weight in different spots. So some people are chest heavy and they'll feel it right around the chest area here when things get tight, through your back and shoulders and chest area. Sometimes things get tight. Dresses are nice because they kind of hit everything. Females, sorry. The dresses hit everything. They hit stomach, hips, upper body too. Pants, I'm a bottom heavy girl. So when I gain weight, the thigh part of pants usually is the first thing to feel tight. So that's my trigger, right? So if I was doing this, I would say this exercise, I would pick out a pair of pants that felt too snug in the thighs, and that would be my measuring tool, right? So you know your body, you know what works, you know what you need. So I recommend picking out just one thing. You really don't need to do a lot of things. Just one tool is really all you need. Flag it, mark it. You can hang it up if that motivates you to keep it out, so you can see that and have that constant reminder. Or just flag it so that you're going, once a week, once a month, you want to go into your closet, pull out that dress, jeans, shirt, whatever, and try that on. Okay, that's your exercise to do for this week, is to try a different tool other than the scale. Okay, and again, the scale is a tool, right? It gives us information, but sometimes we let that information get the best of us when we know that it's just a tool, right? So if the scale is up, that could be a lot of things. That could be water, it could be hormonal, it could be I'm laughing because the Grizzlies in the background. It could be a lot of things, right? It doesn't mean that you've gained fat. Here's my other little fun fact for you today about the scale. So it actually takes 3,500 calories to equal a pound. So if you step on the scale and it's up 2 pounds, if that was actual fat, that you had gained 2 pounds of fat, you would have had to have eaten 3,500 calories times 2 in that amount of time, more than normal or more than your baseline, right? And I do recognize that can be an issue for a lot of people, and that is possible. But I think for the most part, with the people I work with, for the most part, we're not eating 7,000 calories. That's a lot of food. So Not that it's impossible, but it would be a big stretch for someone to gain 2 pounds of pure fat in an overnight, right? Especially if it happens overnight and you wake up the next morning and the scale is different like that. It's not necessarily fat. It can be a lot of other things, right? It can be water, it can be waste, it could be just a lot of different things. Okay, so that's the lesson for today. I do want to just open it up if anybody on wants to ask any questions or needs help with anything. Again, I'm not trying to take up a ton of your time, but I just want to be here in case anybody needs anything. So does anybody need anything? Who's on? All right. Well, if nobody has any questions, that's totally okay. That's okay too. Just know that this is a time when you can, because a lot of times if you have a question, other people have the same question. So don't be afraid. This is why group programs work, is because we're all here for each other. Okay, so your mini lesson for today. Again, don't be shy in the future. If you have questions or need anything, I am here for you. You can reach out in the group, reach out to me directly. I'm here for you. But I hope you enjoyed this mini motivational mindset Monday. All right, bye.